Director Steven Spielberg destroys the rules of spatial clarity in Saving Private Ryan, turning the entire film into a struggle to rebuild order from that destruction. And at the center of all this is Captain Miller, who metaphorically represents an architect throughout the movie, until he actually becomes part of the rubble himself. And you can obviously see this first in the Omaha Beach scene, where Germans owned the space, they had the height and clear line of sight, and the Americans start getting attacked right when they are on the landing craft, which turns the craft into what the military calls a kill box. Because they are packed tightly on the craft, they are unable to spread out or find cover, making them easy targets for the Germans. This causes the soldiers to lose all orientation before eventually regrouping with Captain Miller. But the thing about this entire sequence is that it serves two purposes. First is the destruction of order, and the second one is the start of rebuilding it. And as soon as they get off the beach, the mission transitions into a problem of distance management. They are looking for a private named James Ryan, but up until the moment we actually see Private Ryan, he doesn't exist. He was simply a geographical point. As philosopher Paul Virilio notes in War and Cinema, modern combat is defined by logistics and vision. And to any logically thinking person, the mission to save one man sounds irrational in between all this bloody chaos, but it actually serves a deeper purpose. Ryan serves as the anchor for the soldiers' humanity. The army uses him to prove that a single human life still holds value in a world that erased humanity. This brings us to Private Jackson, who acts as a fixed point of order. As a sniper, he constantly seeks the high ground, a position that in architecture symbolizes divine reach. His deep religious faith transforms this physical elevation into a sense of destiny, where height gives him vision, and that vision allows him to carry out what he believes is divine purpose, which is the killing. Yet the film refuses to let this structure stand. When a German tank destroyed his bell tower, it proves that warfare doesn't care about his divine reach. But this destruction also happens internally, most notably with Corporal Upham. The thing about Upham is that he's usually seen as a coward, but architectural threshold theory, which is the study of transitional spaces, gives us a deeper reading to his actions. During the brutal combat where Mellish dies, we see Upham as he becomes frozen between two spaces, which is the upstairs and downstairs. This is actually where we see the collapse of his identity as an intellectual. He has spent the entire film believing that the rules of civilization can be applied to the battlefield, and the staircase is the physical manifestation of his internal conflict. The upstairs is the civilized world he understands, and the downstairs, where the other soldiers are in battle, is the brutal reality he is terrified to enter. He believes that if he stays on the stairs, he can occupy a space where he is neither the killer nor the victim, but since brutality exists on both floors, the staircase stops being a bridge between civilization and war, and becomes a limbo where his identity dies completely. This is the most important scene in war cinema because it destroys the rules of spatial clarity. It forces the audience to lose the sense of where they are standing, turning the staircase into a dead end and making us experience the same mental fracture that Upham is suffering. And this brings us to the final battle in Ramelle, which serves as the final act of reconstruction. If Omaha Beach serves as the disintegration of order into chaos, Ramelle is the reverse. While preparing for the German assault, they use whatever is remaining of the ruined town to funnel and trap the enemy as an attempt to rebuild their military order. And at the heart of Ramelle is a bridge. The sole purpose of a bridge is to connect separated spaces, and it is no accident that Miller dies beside it. His entire character arc has been about connecting people, units, and meanings. His death beside the bridge completes his function. But the sad thing about Saving Private Ryan is not that the men died. War films have shown that for decades. The tragedy is that every structure humans build to make sense of the world, whether it's military, moral, or even religious, they all eventually break apart. Miller spends the entire film rebuilding those structures one piece at a time, and by the end, the architect becomes another brick in the foundation.